car. Introducing Domino's Carside Delivery.
Yep, truck's perfect.
We do the carrying out for you, contact-free, while you conveniently stay in your car.
Thank you.
Just pull up at the store, check in online, and we bring your food to you. Try Domino's Carside Delivery next time you carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each.
This summer, we've all given back to the people we've missed, and to those who can make this summer mean more than ever before. Get the most out of those miles during the Ram Summer Clearance event.
It takes a relentless attention to detail. Of the weather, you'll find us there, proudly wearing Land's End, because Land's End stands for quality in everything they make, so we know they can stand behind us. The official outfitter of the Weather Channel is Land's End. Let's get comfy everywhere.
At Olive Garden, it's easier than ever to enjoy what you...
Shake it, kiddo. Love, comma, Dad.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
It's so good to see you guys. Han, out here.
Our 12-step process provides 100% pure quality water.
Earn box tops for your school with Nestle Pure Life. Available across these fun packs.
Introducing new Life Cuisine for your lifestyle.
Crest Gum Detoxify.
My gums are irritated. I don't have to worry about that. Do I?
Harmful bacteria lurk just below the gum line.
Crest Gum Detoxify works below the gum line to neutralize harmful plaque bacteria and help reverse early gum damage. Crest.
Target's same-day delivery. Contactless delivery.
Welcome back into the Weather Channel's continuing special live coverage. Only coverage you can find here, of course, as we approach landfall from Hurricane Laura. Going to be a monstrous night, and this is a monster. Borderline strong category areas that were under mandatory evacuations, and for people who did not leave, unsurvivable when we talk about a 15 to 20 foot storm surge. Guys, do you know how high that is? That's high. I'm 6'4" and a half, okay? 6'4" and a half. When you get to 15 feet, that's like almost 3 of me. But in locations, it will not be surprising. I want to take you south of here, live look at Cameron, Louisiana. Check this out. We're going to continue to check back in with these cameras because it's too dangerous to send anybody there. But we have put cameras out, and storm trackers have put cameras out to kind of monitor this tomorrow morning. And right now, the water rise 3.2 feet, okay, above normally dry ground. And you can see it has covered the road. Getting under these buildings. Now, the homes here, they're built on stilts, you know, at least a good story up, in some cases even higher. So that's encouraging. But when you talk a 15 to 20 foot storm surge, like that's for those watching in Lake Charles, we're doing good right now. But again, we haven't even really begun. It actually isn't raining at the moment. So the rain has stopped. It hasn't fully. Overnight hours, of course, Jim Cantore, Stephanie Abrams are going to be live as this approaches landfall, and that's what we're expecting. I mean, Dr. Knapp, looking at that wind forecast, you scary to think about.
Yeah, and it's a wider area than that is at risk for gusts that are strong enough to bring down trees and cause damage, and you've got and around the time that the center's coming ashore, the winds of tropical storm force will be arriving in northern Louisiana. So it is time throughout the entire state of Louisiana and this in some spots, because this doesn't even account for the freshwater flood, the rainfall that could add to these values. And again, this is going to penetrate miles and miles inland, some places up to 4
and disinterested. Overwhelmed by bipolar depression? Ask about Vraylar. Not all types of depression should be treated the same. Which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. Metabolic changes may occur. Nausea, restlessness.
Because your strength is supported by ours. Depend. The only thing stronger than us is you.
It's grilled cheese.
Cleanser sensitive skin loves.
All right, guys, it is go time. Winds are picking up, and we're starting to get reports of power. Road, the power goes out and the street lights and the buildings in the distance. So, all right, that's early, but vulnerable spots right on the coast, you're going to lose power. War zone with the weather, and Hurricane Laura is bearing down less than 100 miles away from the coast, mind you, and rapidly increasing. Latest observation at the Lake Charles International Airport, 36-mile-per-hour gusts, okay? Sustained winds closer to 30, about 25 miles to 30 miles per hour. Continue in those bands, you're going to get those stronger winds. And then you see on the radar we have those deep yellows, oranges, and even reds. Not the eye wall, but just north of that. Setting the standard and just catastrophic damage, we may end up with worse conditions here with Laura. So right now, Vermilion Bay, even points east from there, getting
push around the same time as high tide, and in some places it looks like those things are going to line up relatively closely. Center circulation is still places like Lake Charles and others have their weather continue to go downhill. Now check out this view of Laura from space. This is from NOAA's GOES. Outer band. So again, here's the coastline, here's the center of circulation. When it crosses the coast in about 4 hours and change, that would be landfall of the center, but we all into your safe spot for the night. The weather will go downhill way ahead of that. Here's a few more water level observations. This is the best way we can here, so you're getting the onshore push in this direction all the way over the Texas-Louisiana border, getting near 3 feet, all the way other side of Vermilion Bay near 3 feet. So the water rises. Jackie, we've got lots of problems headed inland already happening. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, and this is going to affect some major metropolitan areas down the line as well. There you take.
Daddy, what's that big moving house thing?
It's a motorhome, Junior. Modern invention.
Modern invention? We carried our homes with us since
minutes could save you 15% or more.
You should really be focusing on both, and definitely at the same time. Sensodyne sensitivity in gum gives us a dual action effect that really takes care of both our teeth sensitivity as well as our gum issues.
Coerce a visit. With Devour, white cheddar mac and cheese with bacon.
Oh, that looks good.
Largest online thrift store with over 50,000 new items every day at unbeatable prices. Madewell from $9, Anthropologie from $13, Coach from $25.
Garages built for getting stronger, and patios that stay open all night. Protect the pure joy of home with Terminix. RX.
The Weather Channel.
We have a team of in just a second, but we want to head out right now to Chris Bruin, who is currently in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And, you know, Chris, certainly Lake Charles, no stranger to catastrophic.
The land you see here likely going to be underwater. Certainly when you get over 6 feet, this is going to be covered. And again, that's something we're going to be watching for all night long. And just below the bridge, and that area likely will flood. The Civic Center will flood, and those usual spots. But even spots that maybe didn't flood in Rita have the potential to now flood. Of Cameron, and I want to pull up the radar because I'm looking at this. It is just eerie to see. You've got the eye all able to be, I mean, essentially the whole structure of the storm can be seen now. And once that comes in, the winds are going to start getting much more ferocious. Visibility is something that we still have. Look at the oil rigs and all of the, these are all the refineries. Wall, but the band north of that has prompted a tornado warning there in far eastern parishes there east of Cameron. Look at
that. Produced 90 tornadoes back in 2005. Ivan, Katrina, other Gulf Coast major hurricanes have produced a lot of tornadoes, so no reason why this wouldn't be the This is still kind of an outer band of the hurricane, but then once the eye wall gets closer in, you know, maybe within the next couple of hours, it will be close. Shelter like you would for a tornado. Now, what I really hope is that wherever it is that this tornado warning and that eye wall comes ashore near the coast, crosses over your area. So, Jackie, we're going to have hurricane-force winds extending far inland over East Texas and western Louisiana.
To the right of the center. So there you can see the track and where this is going to be going with time. We could be talking about 5 to 8 inches of rainfall across parts of Arkansas. Think about the hilly We'll watch for that really heavy rain across parts of Arkansas with the remnants of the eye wall near Little Rock. This will head into Memphis and into the Boot Heel of Missouri then as we head through the day.
Impressive.
There is one more thing.
Jake from State Farm.
Here's the deal. With the Drive Safe and Save app, you'll save up to 30% for
because we know one thing's for sure. It's a little less scary leaving home.
Papadia, tangy buffalo sauce, grilled chicken, and melty cheese for just $6. Papa John's.
That's why we create moments to feel Kohler clean every day.
Most of your Labor Day by picking up Budweiser today.
Can't wait to tell everyone about AT&T's big 5G news.
Device. Now everyone, including existing customers, can get a free Samsung Galaxy Note 20 after trade-in.
At Olive Garden, it's easier than ever to enjoy what you love from
Lake Charles. This hour, you're really going to notice some bigger changes as we are watching now the bands start to come in, and they're persistent, and things are going to change drastically. Much stronger than that. When this band came through Cameron, Louisiana, it knocked out power. So start expecting power outages, start expecting tree limbs to come into Arkansas, West Tennessee. Let's talk about the sky conditions and the trees. Look at the winds starting to pick up a lot of the palm fronds. So you're noticing the violent shake of the trees. Ramp up, and then from there they get even stronger and stronger. By midnight, it's going to be hard to even be outside of safety from under the awning. We're going to get the reports out there as we can. Things are going to change so quickly. Thankfully, this is a fast-moving system, but with that comes drastic changes. So you may towards the state of Louisiana, even Arkansas. So we talk about winds. They could get over 120. I mean, the storm is measuring wind gusts now at still over 100. No idea what's going on, and you're not going to be able to go check it out, and you got to be safe. You got to treat this like a tornado warning. That's the best way to describe it. So you want to be in your home, lowest who have been out the last few hours, they have said essentially the roads are literally free from traffic, and there's not any cars really out and about right now, and that is good news. And exponentially in the coming hours, okay? So current time right now, about 9:02 p.m. this evening, winds picking up over 30 miles. At this point, the winds have been coming from the north and the east for the most part in Lake Charles. That will be changing as we see this continue to move northward. And farther south towards the coast, towards Holly Beach and Cameron. Latest gauge, at least at last check, was over 3 feet of water rise. Sombering, just being in Lake Charles all day, beautiful city, all communities here that are going to be looking so different by the time the sun comes. Borderline Cat 5 hurricane force winds. Looking at the radar, what are you looking at now as we go into the next few hours, and who's expecting the worst of the
Cat 4 winds might not be quite that strong on the west side, but might be close. But the strongest winds and the worst onshore push Eastern 1 Central. It appears to be on track, relatively close to that timing. You know, we can't pinpoint it, but it looks like we're about 4 hours away from landfall. The worst comes ashore, and then you have the backside of the hurricane. So this is going to be an hours-long event, and it's moving 15 miles an hour. Now, that's not stalled. Morning. Hopefully everybody has evacuated from that area. So here's Cameron, Louisiana, right in here. So here's the northern eye wall. Got some eye wall lightning in there. The Weather Service will, just an hour or two in advance of that, issue an extreme wind warning for that same area. And the action would be to do the same. And we have also, Jackie, that inland areas are going to start getting the tropical storm conditions here in the next 3 to 4 hours, around the time that
go through those eye wall replacement cycles. Is there any chance we're starting to see signs that that could be happening?
I don't see really convincing signs of that yet. One thing satellite imagery, it sure looks like that southern eye wall is pretty well intact. I mean, maybe it's not as solid as it was, but it looks pretty well closed up.
So a lot of
that north-northwest track. So, when they put out the motion on these advisories, they don't measure it over an hour or two. They measure it over 3, 6, 9 hours to get a,
They end up being stronger in that right front quadrant.
That's correct. So, Lake Charles right in here. So if the center takes a path kind of like this, then you end up on the right side, the strong. too late for that.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Dr. Now, we want to take a look at some of the more cameras that we have across the region as well, because we're seeing conditions changing. Orders have been issued, and so everybody should be out of the city at this time. We think conditions are going to continue to deteriorate. City, an area under evacuation, and we've got a lot of issues in Port Arthur, and we just learned in the last hour or so that the bridges that lead to Port Arthur, including because of Tropical Storm Laura. I believe we've got some other cameras that we want to share with you. I think we've got Grand Isle, Louisiana, and Grand Isle is one that I really want to show you. You are, Chris, because it looks like you're just on the edge.
Yeah, it is raining. It is raining right now. We're about 2 or 3 miles south. Just brutal and catastrophic. Again, even if we don't necessarily get the eye right overhead, we're likely going to be on that eastern eye wall where the strongest of how strong the winds will likely get overnight.